Go ahead and start the recording. Welcome everybody. Thank you very much for attending. I do have everybody muted to try to improve the audio quality, because the audio quality tends to deteriorate when you have a lot of people on the conference. But anytime you want to speak, you can just click the microphone icon that has a red slash through it, and you can talk and then re-mute yourself when you're done. And if you're on the phone, which a lot of you are, I'm surprised that that many are on the phone, you can just unmute yourself on your phone. Also, there is a chat option. You should see that on the bottom of your screen. If you want to say something but not say it verbally, you can just type it into the chat box and you can address that to everyone or just, specific individuals. We will keep to exactly an hour. If we don't get through everything, we will just find another way to handle it. So, having said all that, I will get into the meat of the agenda. Okay, so our first item is proxy assignments. We are trying to gather proxies for the international convention that your TRIO members and other members who are attending the convention will carry. And at this point, we have about half the clubs that have assigned their proxies. And I did send out a list last week of those clubs that had not assigned their proxies. That list has not changed very much, but if you would like an updated list, I would be happy to provide it. I did note that there are a number of clubs on the list that haven't assigned their proxies that have district officers as members of the club. Now, they may not be presidents or secretaries who are the only ones who can assign the proxy, but if you are in a club that has not yet assigned a proxy, this would be a good opportunity to encourage your president or secretary to go ahead and do that. We would really love to have 100% participation. So I would really appreciate it if you could reach out to your clubs and ask them to assign their proxies, preferably before about August 13th, which is when the TRIO is leaving for Washington, D.C. So we would very much appreciate it if you could talk to your clubs about that. Next item of business is officer lists from TI. They had been telling us all this month that they would be available today, but when I logged on to District Central today, they're now saying Friday. They're now saying the 29th. And that has a bearing on the next item on the agenda, which is the Culture of Success questionnaires, because I had been planning to send out an email either district-wide or at least to all the officers in the district explaining this whole Culture of Success questionnaire project. And I don't really want to do that until I have the new officer lists. So that's on hold till Friday. But if you are planning a club visit and you would like to have the club members and officers complete that questionnaire before your visit, you are welcome to go ahead and ask them to do that. You should have received last week a email explaining the whole initiative and explaining how your clubs can use it. It'll be easier to facilitate that when it's been explained to the club officers as well. But if you'd really like to get going on it, you're welcome to do that. And then the next thing, the last point I really want to talk about is an event that we have that's of particular interest to clubs in Division C and E. This is a Night of Champions that we're holding on Wednesday, August 10th from 7 to 8 p.m. It will be in Spokane at the facility where Moonlighters meets. And the object of this event is kind of a send-off for our district champion, who will be a semifinalist in the World Championship of Public Speaking, Frank Briggs. Frank will practice his speech in this venue and get some feedback from the audience. He may practice both of his speeches, because if he does advance beyond the semifinals, he will have to do a second speech. And then we're also going to have 5 other speakers who have reached various levels of success with district contests in the past. So I think it's going to be a really exciting night. It's a really good opportunity to promote a lot of clubs in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and the I-90 corridor. So I'm going to send out more detailed information about that, and I would really appreciate it, particularly in those 2 divisions, if you could promote that event to your clubs and ask them, ask people to come out and support the event, come out and support the speakers, and especially come out and support Frank, because I think he would really appreciate that and would like to have a good-sized audience in front of which to practice his speech. And those are really the main points that I wanted to cover. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Jennifer and ask her to talk about training and contests. Jennifer? You need to unmute yourself, or I can unmute you. Let's see. Uh-oh. I don't know what I did to my screen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, well, I can hear you, but I can't see you, so the screen went away. Okay, so we are going to go over Club Success Expos and how they're going. They're going fairly well. We know that we had to cancel the Division D, and for those of you who are on the call this evening, the reason we had to do that was it was registration representing only 9 people, and 4 of them were the trainers. And to conserve district resources and be sensitive for those that were actually traveling all the way from Yakima, Spokane area, we decided to cancel that particular training and regroup it to where our area directors had an opportunity to find local trainers. And then our division director was able to do the same thing. We have got 2 more trainings coming up. The Division B training is this Saturday. Ed Keeney has coordinated that one, and I believe, Ed, we're all set to go, aren't we, sir? I believe that he is all set to go with that one. We have almost 50 people registered for that one, and we have almost 40 people registered for the last one we're having August 6th in Spokane. And I know Laura has been working very hard with her area directors, just like Ed has, to try and get as many officers registered as possible. And we look forward to that one. We will have makeup training in Walla Walla. Pam Murray is heading that one up. That one is going to be August 13th. And the district trio will not be in town. We will be in Washington, D.C. And Pam, I'm sure, is going to do an excellent job with training officers. There is a makeup training for Division 1 and 2D. And that one, Christine has got the venue with the Gritman Hospital, I believe. and that one is going to be August 27th. And we'll be getting information out to the district regarding that. Is there anything, Kathy, you wanted to ask? I still can't see anybody. I don't even know if you can see me.
I can see you.
Okay, good.
I don't have anything further on training, but did you also want to talk about contests?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. I didn't know if you had anything else with training. Okay, so we have our speech contests that are coming up. And I have got rid of that one. Okay, so the speech contests, everybody, we have to get those coordinated. And we are needing to start with the Division D contest. So if we have area directors that are on this call that are part of Division D, your contest is scheduled for September 17th. What that means is that you need to be sure your area contests are completed 2 weeks prior to that. So if you were to go to September 17th, your last date to have an area contest would be Saturday, September 3rd. And then those club contests need to be done 2 weeks prior to that. You need to be in touch with your clubs and let them know that we encourage them to have a club contest. However, it is not required, and that they can send or nominate 2 people to go to that area contest. Clubs can combine their contests to make it easier to find judges if they want to. I know the Pendleton and Cayumawa do that, and we meet over at Wild Horse Casino, and we share the duties that way. You're also able to do that at the area level if you wanted to. I know Ed, he's coordinating a September 17th for his area contest to be combined on that day, just to simplify everything. The Division E contest, September 24th. Once again, those area contests need to be completed 2 weeks before the 24th. So, Alan, if you're on the call, sir, we're looking at September 24th. You need to be sure that those area contests are done by September 10th, and that's a Saturday. And that will give time for everybody. And then October 1st, that's Division A. So Victoria, if you are on the call, then we're going to need you to be sure your area directors have theirs completed by September 17th. Then we have October 8th, and that was Division B. Ed, we talked about Ed. He's actually got the library already reserved for the 17th. And I believe it's in Kennewick, but I'm not for sure. It might be Richland.
No, it's in Richland.
Is it Richland? Okay, thank you, sir.
The conference room in Richland.
Excellent. And then we'll go to Division C. So, Miss Laura, if you're on the call, October 15th is your division contest, and we need to be sure you have your area contest done by October 1st. Now, those of you who are on the call that are area directors, and you already have your contest date figured out and your venue, please let me know, and we will get that put onto the website, so that way those people that are wanting to compete will know where the location is, what the day is, and what the time is. Keeping in mind that there might be travel involved if you have an evening contest for some people, and they might not be able to compete if they have to travel, which happened to me last year. I did not compete in one of the divisions because the area contest was on a weeknight. I was in Milton Freewater. The contest was in Pasco. Could not do it. Now, there was something that was brought up at the last training with judging, and Deborah Kruniak said that there was some new ruling about judging saying that if you're in, for example, the table topics contest, that you would be able to not judge, or you would not be able to judge the humorous speech contest, where times before at our area contests, we have used each other for judges, or if you're competing in one contest, you could judge for the other contest. I looked today on the rule book, and maybe Kathy, if you know anything about that or heard anything about that ruling.
I have not heard anything about that. I'll have to look at the rule book myself.
I could not find it at all. There are some new rules that they have. I shouldn't say they're new. What they have done is just clarified a few items in the rule book this year that they've had numerous questions on, and there wasn't any on judging that I could find, but you know, you just don't know. So if there was one, maybe from, I have not seen one, but we'll look and make sure.
Okay.
Are there questions from our officers out there? Nobody's coming in.
Okay. Before we go on, a couple of things. There's somebody on the conference, Bryce9710, who is sharing his or her screen. Could you please turn that off because everybody can see it? I don't know who that is. And secondly, I neglected to ask if anybody had any questions about the stuff that I talked about, so let me just ask if anybody has. Good, great. Thank you, Bryce9710, for stopping that screen share. Anybody have any questions about the stuff that I talked about before we move on to Christine? Alrighty, then let's have Christine take it away. Do you need me to unmute you?
There we go. I got it.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a couple of things.
Christine, can you speak up? This is Jim, and I can hardly hear you.
Okay, is that better? I'm getting closer to my screen now.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Great. I'm going to talk about a couple of things according to the agenda. First of all, we have a couple of things in the hopper, as they say, for my position as club growth director and my duties. The first is a couple of committees that are going to be established. The first one is for new club growth committee, and that will be chaired by Ed Keeney, because as we all know, he's the guru of new clubs.
Ed Newman, you mean?
Ed Newman, I'm sorry. Ed Keeney's right there. Ed Newman. And then the second committee is going to be club coach committee, and that will be made up, we're thinking of past district directors and governors, and that will be led by John Meyer. And then the other thing is, it's not really committee, but it could be a committee, and that we haven't set up. All these things are just really in the beginning stages, and this next idea is a really beginning stage. We're thinking about, instead of focusing on drives, membership drives, we're going to be focusing on more effective ways of promoting our clubs And we all know that one of the most effective ways of promoting our clubs is through websites. And so we're looking for someone to kind of spearhead that and to help individual clubs work on improving and updating their websites. The other thing is that we're looking to do is to, as club growth director, I'm supposed to create a marketing plan, and I have zero experience in that. So we're looking at outsourcing our marketing plan to an expert. And again, all these things are really just starting to germinate. As a matter of fact, Margaret Page has suggested that all the districts in Region 1 pool our resources as a region to do that very same thing. So again, these are all very beginning stage ideas and concepts, and as they develop, I will keep everyone in a loop. And as we get more information, you'll get it. The other thing there are two other things to talk about. There's the Smedley campaign, which runs from August 1st to September 30th. And I'm sure you all know this, but I'll repeat it because it's worth repeating. In between August 1st and September 30th, if your club adds 5 new members, then you'll receive a Smedley Award, which is a ribbon for your club banner, and a special discount for 10% off your next TI store purchase. And so really, we're not doing any membership campaigns like we've done in the past, but that's always a good thing to emphasize in your clubs. And then finally, talking about the dues renewal increased. And, September 30th is the dues will go up. We all know about that. And we're going to work on putting a positive message on that. There's a really good video on Facebook, in the District 9 Facebook page of a club growth director from another district who made a video to message it in a very positive way, and that our members are worth the extra $1.50 a month that it'll cost us, and that it's a very good incentive to get people to want to pay more. So, any questions of what I just said?
All righty.
Kathy,
Yes.
Christine, on the committees,
Yes.
those are just starting to be formed. They're not formed. These are ideas. You just know who the chair is. Do you have a deadline on those for up and running?
I guess I would say yes to all those questions, Caitlin. We have the chairs, and they're in the process of forming the members of the committee. And if any of you are interested in serving on those committees, please let me or Ed Newman or John Meyer know, and they would be more than happy to get your assistance. But like I said, it is very germinating, baby stages at this point. So as we get more information, we will let you know.
Oh, okay, thanks. I think I have Ed's information. If I'm interested, then I can forward him an email, or should I do that to you?
You can go, if you know how to contact Ed, I would suggest that you go ahead and contact him yourself.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next, we have Ed Keeney, who has a couple things he wanted to talk about, and then he can segue into any kind of Division B report he might have. So go ahead, Ed.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, first item on the agenda is the Pathways program. The REP program is gone. It is now called Pathways. I encourage everyone to read the articles in this month's Toastmaster magazine. All of the ambassadors have received the new PowerPoint presentation that TI has provided the chief ambassadors, and they'll be reviewing those, modifying them to their own areas, and then go ahead and making those club visits and presentations. The Toastmaster organization has authorized and will be providing us with new name tags. They will say Pathway Ambassadors instead of REP Ambassadors. So those will be all those will be mailed to me, and I will make distribution of those to our ambassadors. Right now, even with the new club assignments, it doesn't look like we're going to have to worry about getting any new ambassadors. I'm just going to have to readjust a couple of them. We lost some clubs and gained some clubs. I spoke with the ambassadors via email, and all of them said they shouldn't have any problem with that. So that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. We'll go from there.
Good.
The next item on the
Hi.
agenda is, go ahead.
Yes, I had a question for Christine. I'll wait till you're finished, Ed.
Oh, go ahead. If you got it, do it now.
Yes, Christine, Darlene said that she would volunteer to help any club to write a web page. She wanted to let you know that because she does. She doesn't have much to do nowadays. Thank you.
Sure, and I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to Ed Keeney.
All right, I presented a proposal to Kathy a couple of nights ago, 2 items for consideration. And Kathy, you can handle those however you want. The first one is called a memory tree. It is it's kind of a twig tree with the Christmas lights on them, just the white blinking lights. I got this idea from, we just came back from Great Falls, Montana, my daughter's 30th high school reunion. And what they have is a tree on a table. In this case, we would have the title D9 Toastmasters that have passed. This is a memory type thing. And all it is just the small tree, and it's just in the corner someplace. And it has a listing of those Toastmasters that have passed. And there's a short poem that goes with it. It's an anonymous poem. But I would propose that we'd be able to do that. I would take care of the display, setting it up, taking it down, and storing the materials. The card on one of the cards says "Gone but Not Forgotten," and that has the listing of names of the D9 Toastmasters that have passed. Any discussion or comments on that one, please?
I like that idea.
Thank you.
I like the idea too, Ed. And if Victoria is on the call and Christine, you can talk to John about it. But I think that is a wonderful, wonderful way to tribute.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion on that one? All right, we move to the second one. Many of you have seen, it's called the POW, Prisoner of War Missing in Action Table. And it's called a Missing Man Table. It has a single display with a number of items on there. And on that display, during the time that it's focused, there's a member that reads off what the significance of each item is. And again, I sent a picture and the ceremony script to Kathy for review. And again, it would be something that I would take responsibility for to set up. There's nothing official that has to be done other than taking about 5 minutes out of a central program someplace. Normally it's done during a meal activity. And it's over on the side. It's not meant to draw a whole lot of attention, but it is meant to have memories for those POWs and MIAs that we still have. Again, I would take responsibility to set that up, display, and tear it down and store it. Discussion, please.
I think I need to think about that one a little bit more. And what I would propose is that I send out to this group the attachments that you sent to me so that they could react to them, because I would like to get some more feedback.
Absolutely.
And they probably can react better if they can actually see what we're talking about.
Sure. You can go onto YouTube and type in POW MIA ceremony, and it will give you some, you see the different pictures, and you will note in some of them that it has all 5 military services represented with people in uniform, and it gets to be a grand activity. But in this case, that's not what I'm looking to do. And again, Kathy, I appreciate that. I think it would be very helpful to people to take a look at it. And if it's decided, I'd like to have enough time to get it together for the conference.
How much time would that be?
Oh, probably no more than a week.
Okay. Anybody else have comments on it?
Well, I unmuted myself so I could make a comment. Ed, would it be feasible to incorporate that with the showing of the colors at the very beginning of the Saturday morning conference?
Not really. It's not designed to do that. It's designed to be held during a meal activity.
During a meal activity. Okay.
And it's normally done at the very beginning.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look forward to seeing the materials that you sent to Kathy.
No problem.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. What's going on in Division B, Ed?
Division B, as you heard from Jennifer, we're getting ready for our training activity. It'll be Saturday at Columbia Basin College in Pasco. It's an auditorium type setup. It's room L102. We will have signage out so that you know where you're going. Some of you have been there before. You understand what's going on. I was not able to get any club to sponsor any type of a meal thing. So what we're going to do is we'll just have water. I'll have bottles of water, and we'll get some donuts or something like that, and that's going to be it. I was thinking about trying to get a cold meal or a cold meat plate, meat and cheese. But I don't think that's going to work. So with the timeline that we've got, if there's no problem with anybody, we will have some type of a snack there. But the college does restrict. You have to have sealed foods when you bring them in. You can't bring in sandwiches that you've made or things like that. So we will have that ready to go. The rest of Division B, I've had 2 meetings with all of my area directors. They're all working very hard to make the contacts with their clubs. We've had 2 or 3 attempts at contact at some of the clubs, and they haven't gotten anything back. I told them, I said, just show up. And I've offered to go with them. I've been with Ann Schuer to a couple of meetings, and they're all working. The ConAgra Club is the biggest challenge we have, I think, right now.
Yeah.
In that the company is going away. So to try to recruit anybody right now, they're not able to do that because ConAgra is paying all the membership dues and everything. So people are just kind of holding off.
Yeah. But
Ann is going in there and helping. We got a lot of new first-time officers, and the other 3 directors are as well.
Excellent. Are there any area directors from Division B who would like to add anything to Ed's comments? Give a chance to unmute yourself. All righty then, we will move on to Division A. Is Victoria Chatterton on the conference? Not hearing from Victoria. Any other area directors from Division A who would like to comment? Caitlin?
I am here from Division A. Let's see, what would I have to comment on? I haven't personally met with Victoria yet or had a meeting with her with some of the other division or area directors. I thought we had a pretty good turnout as far as the training was concerned. Some of the officers from some of the clubs in my area I know are going down to Pasco, and one gentleman I think is going to Walla Walla. Can't believe how busy he is. Oh, I can't go there because I can't go here because it's this. Like, okay. And as far as I know, my clubs will have most of the officers trained.
Excellent. Very good.
Quite exciting.
Very good.
I am looking forward to having my first area council coming up mid to late August and finish up my clubs and get people started on the club success plan.
Yeah.
I think most of my clubs have not ever seen or done one.
Yeah.
And I'm pushing that. That's where my focus is right now with that and talking to my officers.
Excellent.
That's my plan and my report for my area.
All right. Anybody else from Division A want to make a comment?
I believe I'm unmuted, am I not?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Jenny Vandersluis, and I'm also in Area A.
Okay.
I have not done the success plans yet, but I do plan to visit my clubs, and I have one that's struggling. The other two are fairly thriving and vibrant at this point. I too have most of the officers have gone to training. Like Caitlin, I have some that are going to Pasco. I have one that's going to Spokane. And I believe at least two of the clubs I know will have 4 or 5 of their officers trained. And the other club that is struggling will have at least 2.
Can I ask what club that is?
Louise Aki was one of the, it's Chinook.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Well, Louise is president this year. We're hopeful. I plan on visiting in early September. And Caitlin and I are going to join forces and do the speech contest because we have on the 15th. So that's the plan, at least at this point, unless as far as I know. And so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm excited about the fact that we had so many of the officers trained and willing to go other places to be trained.
Excellent. Just one comment about Chinook. Chinook needs a website, so that's one to keep in mind, Christine. They've needed a website for years.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I know that Louise has looked into it more than a year and a half ago. I remember her talking
Me too.
to Darlene about that.
Yeah.
And she is president. Yeah. She's president this year, so we're not having to deal with, well, you know, we're not interested in growth and we're not interested in training like we did with the previous president. So I'm encouraged with that. I'm encouraged that 2 of their 5 officers have been trained, and we're going to shoot for 4 out of 5.
Good.
But we will see what happens. But it's one of those clubs. You know, the change of the president, and there might be life left in the club, and we're going to try and fan those flames. And that's all I have for my report.
Excellent. Thank you.
Kathy, do you mind if I?
Go for it.
Yes, I wanted to let her know. Is that Jenny that was speaking?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Hi, Jenny. It's Jennifer. I just want to encourage you that it is possible if you want to, and I don't know logistically your location and how close Chinook is, for you to actually go in and train the officers yourself, or have an area governor, a past area governor, or a past area director go in and help you. You can actually go into the club, see if they would be willing to set aside a meeting for you. And it sounds like the president might be willing to actually do that. And then that way, not only being able to train as many officers as possible, but hopefully getting them up to speed on the club success program and all of that.
I'm not sure because the previous president is vice president of education. And there is a certain you know, this is a waste of our time. So besides him, how many of the other 2 officers they have, whether or not, how open they would be to it. But Louise Aki is very infectious, and I would, you know, I would like a chance to sit down with her and talk to her about it and see what she, as someone inside the club and been in the club for 2 years, has to say about how we should proceed. Maybe they do need just a nudge. Maybe we need a different tack. But I'd like to see how that plays out.
Good. Is that it for you, Jenny? Okay. Anybody else from Division A? All right. Is Laura on the conference? Laura. All right. Anybody else from Division C who would like to talk about what's going on in Division C? Division C, going once, going twice. All right. I know Pam Murray was not planning to be on the conference, so I assume she is not. Is there anyone from Division D who would like to give a report?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Russell, Area D1 Director. So I guess I can't speak for all of Division D, but I've been in communication with Pam, just back and forth with emails.
Good.
And we are the area that's going to do that makeup training on August 27th. So I've already heard from a couple people that they'll be able to come to that. So I'm hopeful that enough officers can come to that, especially since location-wise for the clubs here, it's convenient for everybody. I've already visited with the clubs in my area, and I guess I'm first time being an area director, just looking forward to continuing to visit with them, even before I have the official club visit with the report and everything, just to get to know everyone and see how I can be of assistance. So
excellent.
That's really it.
Great. Excellent. Anybody else from Division D? All right. How about Alan? Alan, are you on the call? Alan Hansen, paging Alan Hansen. All right. Anybody from Division E who would like to give a report? Division E, going once, going twice. All right. How about, I know Karen Mobley is not on the conference, so we don't have a finance report. Maybe we'll have that next time. How about Maria? Maria, are you on the call? Maria. All right. And Lance, did you want to say anything?
Well, all I can really say is hello to everyone. Good that we're having this meeting. It is the first time I've been involved in a conference like this, so it is a learning experience. I don't know how much of one it is for everyone else out there, but I am glad that we're able to get together in this modern computer age and deal with the glitches and yet still have this meeting. As far as administration manager duties, I am almost complete with putting together the minutes from the TRIO meeting.
Great.
The 14th, and I will send those on. Do we have an official repository for such things?
I can set up a Google Drive for that.
Okay, can you send me instructions on Google Drive?
I sure can.
That. Okay. That is all I have to say.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Lance, for taking minutes tonight. All right, we are actually ahead of time and at the end of the agenda, so let me just open it up for any comments, any questions.
Kathy, this is Ed Keeney. I have a couple of things.
Okay.
Number one, do you know if Mike Anthony has got his DTM yet? The reason I'm asking is I can change the training agenda.
You know, I don't know because the TI site is not up to date, and I've been dying to know. I think the best thing to do is just ask him, but I did ask him a couple weeks ago, so I'll ask him again. But
Because I know all he had to do was present his final speech, and he
right.
did.
Yep.
So I didn't know if TI was accepting those things yet. But again, my question was just so I could change the agenda if it was.
Right. I'll ask him tomorrow.
Okay. The second thing is for you and for Jennifer. A suggestion for you on the registration for the training.
Mm-hmm.
It would be extremely helpful if you could add at least the club name or the club number instead of just having a list of names and then we have to go through and try to figure out who belongs to where.
On the on-site sign-in, you mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we do have that.
It is there?
Yes.
Oh, because the list that I got, it just had names. It didn't have club numbers or anything.
That's from the online registration, but when they sign in on site, the sign-in sheet has club names.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm talking about right now. I don't know, how many clubs.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so you want to see in advance.
Yes.
Yeah, we can provide that for you.
That way we could target those clubs that don't have the 4 officers and leave the other ones alone.
Yeah, good idea. I will make a note of that and send that to you.
Thank you.
If I can find a pen anywhere. Anyway.
And Kathy, can you send me instructions on how to sort the survey gizmo to do that? Because I've been having Laura also is interested on knowing specifics like that, and I haven't quite figured out how to be able to give them that information.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any comments about this format? It is always difficult when you have a lot of people in a video conference. You do have the audio problems. I definitely have heard feedback throughout the meeting, but it hasn't been too horrible. But I'm interested in whether you feel like this is a viable platform to keep having meetings on. Any thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Those people that can do it, I think it's helpful to everybody. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Sorry, Ed. I just about talked over you. Did you finish?
No, I just said for what it's worth, I think it's a good idea.
I particularly like this format. I like Zoom. I use this in my business. We have a Zoom account, which is great. There's also a webinar function. It's extra money a month, but if you do it that way, I like the record function. You can set the meetings up, excuse me, so it automatically records if that is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into a setting and always automatically have your meetings recording as soon as somebody comes on, as soon as you have the host going.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, and I think you can set a co-host. And that way, whoever starts the meeting is always going to start recording, and you don't have to worry about trying to get somebody to figure out how to do that. And if you don't want to continually mute and unmute people, I think if you have a co-host or somebody else you can assign to do that, however that works. Anyway, I really like Zoom, and the webinar function's pretty slick as well.
Good. Thank you.
Kathy?
Yes.
Again, is this Zoom, is this a district account? Can we use it to talk to our area directors?
It is my account, but you can use it. I can set it up for you, give you my login.
Okay. It'll be, next month is our next meeting with the area directors, but I thought it might be kind of nice.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you.
The one thing that you might want to be aware, Kathy, if you give somebody your login, is when they log in, they're going to show up as you.
Okay.
And if you need to be using Zoom at the same time, it's going to throw you up a little window that says you're now using another computer to start your Zoom room or something.
Okay.
To that effect. You just want to make sure that you don't need it and he doesn't need it, and if there's any conflict with that. I know that there's a way that you can change the name, that how it shows up.
Uh-huh.
If Ed's going to show up as Kathy Hansen, he might want to, just saying, he might want to change that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There's some particulars that are funky with it, but it can work.
All right. Very good. Anybody else? All right, we will go ahead and adjourn a little bit early, and thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate your attending, and I will do some follow-up, and I will be in touch with you soon. We will attempt to meet again a month from now, and have a great evening. I'm going to end the meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.